But what if he could decode those messages and respond in a way that actually makes things better? For example, if your sibling starts ranting about something trivial, try saying, "Oh, we're getting into it now, aren't we?" Welcome to GoFam Connect, where we dive deep into topics that help families thrive. I'm GoFam coach Bala, and if you're new here, consider subscribing. Our mantra is master the flow, share the glow. And today, we're going to master the flow of family communication so that everyone can share the glow of a happier, more connected home. Let's first understand the root of all conflicts. Why do we fight? Sometimes it's stress, sometimes it's clashing personalities, and sometimes it's just because someone ate the last piece of cake again. But here's the thing, most conflicts aren't really about the surface issue. They're about feeling unheard, disrespected, or misunderstood. And that's why arguments can escalate from "who left the lights on" to "you never respect me" faster than you can say "calm down." There's a Japanese proverb that goes, "Aite no nai kenka wa dekinai," which means you can't have a fight without someone on the other side. Conflict is always a two-way street. If you're locked in a cycle of arguments, it's not just about what's being said, it's about the tension and emotions between the two people involved. Think about it. If your spouse snaps, "you never help around the house," they might really be saying, "I feel like I'm carrying this load alone." This is where things get messy. But what if he could decode those messages and respond in a way that actually makes things better? Ready to flow into the next part? Let's take the stress out of conflict resolution with these simple yet powerful strategies. They'll have you navigating family arguments like a pro without pulling your hair out. Step 1. Master the art of silent eye rolling. Ever been on the receiving end of a heated family rant and found yourself fighting the urge to roll your eyes into oblivion? Perfect! Instead of indulging in the sweet satisfaction of an actual eye roll, try mental eye rolling. It's therapeutic, invisible, and keeps the peace, at least on the outside. On a serious note, instead of disengaging, stay present. Focus on what's being said. What's the emotion behind the words? It could be frustration, fear, or feeling unheard. Respond to that emotion instead, saying something like, "I can see you're upset. Let's work this out together." Step 2. The 5-second rule. Not just for drop food. Nope, this isn't about snatching food off the floor. It's about not blurting out the first, often regrettable thing that comes to mind in a heated moment. Think of it as an internal timeout for your temper. Instead, take a deep breath and pause for 5 seconds. This moment of restraint allows you to choose your words with intention, making sure you're addressing the problem and not adding fuel to the fire. Practice saying, "I need a moment to think this through," instead of snapping back. Step 3. The 80-20 rule. 80% empathy, 20% stand. If you're thinking, "wait, I'm supposed to agree with them 80% of the time?" This isn't about agreement. It's about understanding. Think of empathy as a foreplay of conflict resolution. You've got to build some connection before making your big point. Spend 80% of the conversation showing empathy, listening, asking questions, validating their perspective. When you finally express your stance, the 20%, it'll be more impactful because they feel heard and respected. Say, "I hear what you're saying and I have a different view I'd like to share." Humor can be a secret weapon in de-escalating conflicts when used wisely. The key is to use it as a way to lighten the tension, not to mock or belittle the other person. For example, if your sibling starts ranting about something trivial, try saying, "Oh, we're getting into it now, aren't we? Should I get the popcorn?" A little humor can be a bridge back to calmness. Oprah is a master at disarming tough conversations with a well-timed joke or light-hearted comment. It's not about dismissing the issue. It's about using humor to create a moment of pause so real communication can happen. Let's be clear. Empathy doesn't mean being a pushover. You can be empathetic and hold your ground. It's about expressing your point with strength but without aggression. If someone's pushing your buttons, respond firmly but calmly. Say something like, "I understand where you're coming from, but this is where I draw the line." Here's a thought. What if conflict resolution could become a family ritual rather than a dreaded event? Imagine turning family fight night into a "let's sort it out Sunday" or "talk it out Tuesday," When family members know there's a dedicated time and space to address issues, it reduces the tension around conflicts. It's like scheduling maintenance for your own car. You're less likely to break down on the highway. Set aside a weekly or monthly time for a family meeting where everyone gets to share their thoughts and feelings in a safe, non-judgmental space. Create some ground rules like no interrupting and encouraging everyone to speak up. Over time, this ritual can strengthen your family's communication and make it easier to resolve conflicts when they arise. Sounds crazy, but making conflict resolution a routine practice can actually make it feel less like a battle and more like a family bonding session. Are you ready to flow into this new ritual? Not all conflicts are created equal. Some family members are like fire, quick to ignite and burn out fast. Others are more like water, silent, slow, and capable of wearing down the toughest stone. Understanding each family member's conflict style is crucial in knowing how to approach them. The fire personality. Fire personalities are intense, direct, and quick to express their feelings. They may come off as confrontational, but often they just want to be heard. For these types, use active listening and acknowledge their feelings immediately to help cool things down. The water personality. Water personalities, on the other hand, avoid conflict at all costs. They hold their feelings in and tend to express themselves only when they are completely overwhelmed. For these members, give them space and time. Approach gently and use phrases like, "I know you're not saying much, but I want to make sure you feel heard too." By recognizing these personality types, you can adapt your approach, blending empathy when it's needed and strength when it's called for. Understanding your family's unique mix is a game changer. Let's flow into mastering this balance, shall we? Every family has those elephant in the room topics, issues that have been swept under the rug for years. Addressing these requires both empathy and strength, and it's not for the faint of heart. The key is to approach these topics slowly with a willingness to listen. Imagine a family that's never discussed a difficult incident from the past, like a parent's long work absences during the kid's childhood. Bringing this up can trigger defensiveness or pain. Start with empathy. I know this is a tough topic, but I think it's important for us to talk about it because it still affects us today. Then, stand firm in the need to have an open, honest conversation, saying, "I love this family too much to keep avoiding this." Always pair a difficult statement with a positive intention. For example, "I want to bring this up, not to blame, but to understand better and heal together." This approach keeps the focus on growth and resolution rather than blame. And if things get too heated, just remember the ultimate conflict resolution technique, the strategic bathroom break. "I need to use the bathroom. I may be gone for 30 minutes or until this blows over." Just kidding. Come on. Before we wrap up, here are some quick hit strategies to keep in mind for the next time your family conflict flares up. These are your conflict navigation cheat codes. 1. The reset button strategy. Agree on a reset phase for when things get heated, like pause, we are on the same team. When anyone says it, everyone has to take a step back and reset the conversation. It's like a family emergency break. 2. Empathy reboot technique. When you're ready to snap, say to yourself, "What's it like to be in their shoes right now?" It sounds simple, but it's incredibly powerful for shifting your perspective and bringing empathy back into the mix. 3. The strength sandwich approach. When you need to stand your ground, use a strength sandwich. Start with empathy, state your firm boundary, and end with empathy again. Empathy, firm boundary, empathy again. Example, "I hear that you're frustrated. I'm not okay with being yelled at. Let's find a way to talk about this calmly." Armed with these strategies, you will be the family's go-to conflict resolver. The person who can calm storms, soothe egos, and when needed, call for a strategic bathroom break. Ready to be a family's Zen warrior with superpowers? Let's flow. So, to recap, navigating family conflicts is all about empathy and strength. Knowing when to listen, when to stand firm, and when to crack a well-timed joke to lighten the mood. Use the yes and trick, the 80-20 rule, and the strategic complements to turn arguments into opportunities for deeper understanding and connection. What's the most ridiculous family argument you've survived? Share your battle stories in the comments below. And remember, hit that subscribe button if you want more tips on keeping your family life mostly peaceful. Don't forget, at GoFam Connect, we are all about master the flow, share the glow. Next up, we are diving into 5 ways to ruin your marriage and how to fix it. You won't want to miss this one. We'll cover the sneaky habits that can undermine even the strongest relationships and what you can do to turn things around. See you in the next video. GoFam family, are you ready